So a few weeks back, we were all doing, myself and Brago, we were doing the top 30 strongest characters in One Piece as of 2019. And those streams were pretty wild, obviously, because when you're doing a power scaling stream, of course things are going to get pretty intense, pretty wild, pretty heated. But it's fun, and that's the point. We have fun doing these videos, we have fun doing these streams, it is what is there. But one of the things that caught my attention, among a lot of different things, but for this video, obviously, you can tell the title. Zoro, a lot of folks put over Trafalgar Law. I was like, wait, hold on. Zoro is stronger than Law? Now? Can we really definitively say that? Now, I posted it on Twitter, and I posted on the YouTube community page. Is Zoro stronger than Law? And the majority of folks said yes. Right now, Zoro is stronger than Law. So 60.7% yes on the Twitter page, and on the YouTube community page, it was 66%. That surprised me. And of course, going through the comments on Twitter as well as the community page, it was fairly intriguing to see folks' reasons as to why Zoro was above Law, or vice versa, why some folks felt like Law was above Zoro. Some of the comments were well thought out, nice, multiple comments and so on, giving a full-blown analysis on why one was stronger than the other. Others were relatively simple, you know, Zoro, shishi son son, or of course, over the 9 mountains and 8 seas throughout the world itself, blah 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 blah. Zoro. Okay, fine. All right, fine. I get it. Yeah, Zoro's a beast, truly. But don't we think it's a little bit too early to put Zoro over Law, even with Enma? And to be fair, Enma, I think, is just the first of Zoro's power-ups in Wano country. I earnestly believe that at some point during Wano country, probably towards the end of the arc, he'll get the Nyakitetsu. I really, genuinely, honestly believe that. It would shock me if Zoro left Wano country without the Nidai on deck. But right now, with Enma alone, I think the primary reason why many folks say that Zoro is stronger than Law is because in a lot of folks' minds, and I think it's very possible as well, Zoro is going to fight against King. And a lot of these folks, I believe, think that Zoro is going to one-on-one King and then beat King one-on-one. And then the flip side of that is that in Law's case, Law got throttled by Don Quixote Doflamingo. So it's a bit of a mixed bag because for the most part, you can say in the post-time skip, combat-wise, Law fought against Smoker. And that was a pretty good fight, I would say. Actually, I think it's underrated in the anime. I think it's very underrated. It was probably one of the best fights anime-wise. It was clean. Very good. Even in the manga, it was damn good too. It was damn good. But Law beat Smoker fairly thoroughly. He beat Kinemon as well. And some folks like to gas Kinemon. Alright, fine. So for all the Kinemon gassers, just stop. But when I look at Flamingo, and where Flamingo lies power-wise is kind of tricky because a lot of folks say that he's, let's say, third commander, second commander, first commander even. Some folks actually put him up there with the admiral, so it depends where you put Doflamingo power-wise. But Doflamingo, he gave Law the business. And he gave everybody the business. He gave Sanji the business. He gave Law the business. He gave Luffy the business. He gave Cats the business, the works. And I think part of the problem also is that a lot of folks, and this I think is a really ridiculous notion, but a lot of folks actually honestly believe that Zoro, during Dressrosa, during Punk Hazard, and like before Luger's Katakuri, I think a lot of folks think that Zoro was actually stronger than Luffy, which is mind-blowing. Because in all honesty, Zoro hasn't had a good fight, truly, since the pre-time skip. The post-time skip cats that Zoro's fought against, there's no way. There's no way they compare to the guys that Luffy's fought against. I'm sorry. But Monet and Pika and so on, oh yeah, Zoro's definitely stronger than Luffy. Of course, it's more complicated than that, but whatever. I digress. The portrayal of Zoro has been overall a net positive combat-wise as of the post-time skip, whereas for Law, you can say it's more of a negative. But in the case of Enma, a lot of folks believe that Zoro is going to one-on-one and beat King one-on-one. Now with Enma, Zoro's still trying to hone that blade to use it properly, and he hasn't fought using that sword yet. So when Zoro starts to fight with that sword against tougher opponents, we'll see. Like, let's say Zoro fights against, let's say, like before a major bout, let's say he fights against a Flying Six, a Tobi Roppo, or he fights against, let's say, a number, some of that sort, to get Zoro prepped and ready to go for his fight against King, supposedly. Because right now, when you look at Zoro right now, what is Zoro's main focus? Because, again, I think it's possible that he can fight against King. I think, it makes sense given the dynamic of, okay, Sanji fights Queen, and then Zoro fights King, and then Lee fights Kaido. So it does match that pre-time skip notion a bit. But right now, Zoro's focus is not anywhere close to the Beast Pirates. Right now, his focus is, I need to kill Orochi. That is Zoro's primary focus right now. So, of course, like in Skype, for example, he can have multiple fights. Fair enough. But right now, his main primary focus is Orochi and taking down Orochi. And the main guy who's in his way, you can argue, is Kyoshiro. And Kyoshiro is fairly skilled. Nitoryu Zoro, though albeit a bit wounded, Nitoryu Zoro had a hard time dealing with Kyoshiro. A very hard time. So I would like to see how Zoro does against Kyoshiro first, and then after that, it's very possible that he can take on King. But if you want to power scale King, let's say compared to, let's say, someone like Marco or other first mates, so Marco, Ben Beckman, or Katakuri, Zoro may need assistance with King, but we'll have to see how that works, obviously. Now, the flip side is, for Doflamingo and Law, I want to give Law the benefit of the doubt, I really do. Because, in all honesty, keep it real, Dofi knew about Law's abilities. Dofi knew how the powers of the OPOP Nomi worked. And when you compare the feats that Law has done with Zoro, just actually what they've done, yeah, Zoro cut through Pika, and it was like, whoa, Law cut through an entire mountain range. Law cut through an entire freaking mountain range. Respect that. We have to respect that. Not only that, but Law's abilities innately are broken. Fundamentally, the man can operate on a cellular level. He's stupidly powerful when it comes to his abilities. His only problem is, number one, he has a stamina issue, and then number two, in the case of Zoro, his physical strength and his haki, armor haki specifically, may not match Zoro's armor haki and physical strength. Fair enough, fine. But the Devil Fruit ability makes up for that in spades. And there is that notion, that concept, that when it comes to Law and his abilities, Haki can maybe negate that or block that in some capacity. Because Dofi did allude to that in the manga. However, when he did, what happened? Well, Law did the cut, and he cut through the mountain range and the Smile Factory. So, I'm not too sure. There's a possibility, I guess, that you can block Law's invisible cuts in his room with Haki, but we have yet to see that. We have yet to see it from anybody. So I'm not going to jump the gun. I mean, as far as I recall, even Dofi had to dodge those attacks. Whereas in the anime, he does actually divert the attack upwards, and he does, like, deflect it, but that's in the anime. Like, the anime's taken with a big, big grain of salt. Like a 3-pound grain of salt. So I would say, comfortably, if Zoro, at the end of Wano, he does get the Nidai and he has better mastery over Enma, and let's say he does... let's say he does get a wound on Kaido. And of course, for something like that, the context have to matter tremendously. Absolutely. I mean, I understand if that does happen, The Zoro fanboys are gonna start ejaculating in their pants immediately. There's gonna be parades in the streets, people with microphones through the 9 mountains and the 8 oceans. There is nothing I cannot cut. There's gonna be girls fainting on the streets like,
I've fallen and I can't get up.
There's gonna be people calling their kids Zoro. It's gonna be ridiculous. It's gonna be... Oh man. If Zoro does cut Kaido, it's going to be ridiculous. But getting back to what I was saying before, at the end of Wano, yeah, I will give, for sure Zoro is over Law. But I'm not gonna say that now. Because a lot of folks, I think, in my mind, they make a mistake of power scaling cats, not for the now, but for the future. Meaning we're going to apply the strength of post Wano Zoro now, and then post Wano Zoro, who I'd say is, gonna be stronger than Law, because ultimately Zoro's fight against Mihawk. Or Shiryu, depending on where you want to go. So, hey, if he has to beat those guys, or Mihawk, he has to be better than Law. It is what it is. But Zoro right now isn't there yet, I would argue. He has to have the combat experience first. And him just doing some bamboo training thing with Enma doesn't then put him over Law. He got Enma, which is a power fair in of itself, but he has to still train and hone that. And even though Tenguyama did state that because he has Waruichi Monji and Enma, and they're maybe the same person, they can kind of, I don't know, sync up. And because of that, he's actually kind of getting used to Enma at a more rapid rate. Fair, fine. And Enma is a famed sword, but at the same time, is Zoro on Odin's level. And even still, if you read some of the translations, it notes to how it's the sword itself that wounded Kaido, and maybe not necessarily done by Odin. So it gets complicated, obviously, but I'm not gonna jump the gun yet on Zoro being over Law, because I think that Law is significantly powerful, and I do give Law leeway in Dressrosa, because again, Doflamingo had no problems at all going against Aokiji before in Punk Hazard and Fujitora in Dressrosa. He had no qualms at all. The man was clean. So when folks say that he's actually like a first command level dude, it's very possible. I'll lean more towards second. And on top of that, his organs were busted against Luffy. His organs were busted. And I know Oda kind of played off as if, okay, well, Luffy and Bellamy, that equals organ. Stop. Hell to the no. Zoro is damn good. But Zoro is still in the learning phase. Let's see what Zoro looks like at the end of Wano. And that Zoro is probably over Law, yes. But right now, let's not jump the gun, all right? But shouts to Zoro, shouts to Zoro. So that's it. So let me know your stance on the subject matter at hand in the comment section down below, and I'm gonna catch you guys and gals later. Be easy and have a nice goddamn day.